Let's kick another skeleton. And this is so good late game, right? Just sending in these 5/5s. Hello, good game. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. Thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. I hope you're all having a magical day. We're continuing through the pre-constructed standard 2022 deck upgrades. If you're unfamiliar, these are the starter decks that are available to everyone for free by completing the color challenge, right? These decks will come with their own unique rares. We have a list available of all of those. Cherry picking from that list to upgrade all of the other lists, which is really exciting, and then incorporating a few additional commons and uncommons for consistency's sake. Easily attainable by all new players to the game. With this being said, this is part 3 of this series in the playlist. They're all conveniently located, so if you're just new to this video, make sure to check out the others. Of course, we'll be playing Vulgarity today. This is the color combination of black and green. The deck is called Growing Hunger, and maybe not as powerful as the Selesnya Life Gain, in which we took a look at last, but still fairly competitive compared to what we're used to for these starter decks. So with that out of the way, we're going to break down the deck strategies, the synergies, showcase all of that in some gameplay footage, and then wrap up with our final thoughts and deck review. Thanks again. Support the channel with those thumbs up, the subscriptions, and the Patreon support is absolutely amazing as well. Let's go. Alrighty, Growing Hunger version 2 is the upgraded deck, like I talked about. 60 card best of 1 standard, 2.6 average mana value in deck with 18 non-creatures and 19 creatures. We do have 23 land here. However, we incorporate that 24th within the Kazandu Mammoth, which can alternatively be a 3/3 with landfall, +2/+2 until the end of turn whenever a land enters play, which is really nice. We have some serious top end within the deck. The build revolves around +1/+1 counters being distributed upon your creatures, which is really nice. And we can double that effect through Vorinclex, Monstrous Raider, a 6/6 with trample and haste. Amazing. If we're putting counters on anything, we double that. If our opponent's putting counters on anything, we will half that. We have the Froghemoth on top end as well, a little bit less expensive, only for 5 instead of 6. Also with trample and haste. As a 4/4, a little less tough as well. However, when it deals combat damage to a player, exile that many target cards from their graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Froghemoth for each creature card exiled this way, and gain 1 life for each non-creature exiled this way, which is really cool. So there's some sustainability through the life gain, and he's gonna, potentially become an 8/8 if they're running a creature deck, which is really nice as well. So, that's what we have going on for the top end. We also can give everything else trample. Our top end has it organically. However, through the Master Symmetrist for 4, a 4/4 with reach, whenever a creature you control with power equal to its toughness attacks, it gains trample until the end of turn. This is really great because our deck is filled with creatures, that fit that, whatever. One of the most notorious will be the Moss Pit Skeleton for 2. It's a 2/2 kicker for 3, total of 5. If it was kicked, it will enter with an additional 3 counters on it. It's going to be a 5/5, right? If you have Vorinclex in play, that's 6 +1/+1 counters on it, and 8/8. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a creature you control, if the skeleton is in your grave, you can put it on the top of your library, drawing it with your next turn, which is pretty cool. And then maybe potentially we have the Rangers class in play. This is one of the rares in deck. The level 3, you may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may cast creature spells off the top of your library. This is great with the skeleton because it goes to the top, and then you just recast it, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Of course, when the class enters play, you get the wolf, and then level 2, whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on attacking creature, which is great synergy within the deck. We have Emergent Sequence here. It creates a land equal to the number of lands that you control with the +1/+1 counters on it. So, if you play it alone, it's a 1/1 land. If you play your land on your upkeep, then you play this, it's going to be a 2/2 land with those +1/+1 counters, which is really nice. The Jelly is a 1/of in the deck with trample for 1+X, entering the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. It has split, so when it dies, if you had more than 2 +1/+1 counters on it, create a token that's a copy, and at the beginning of your next end step, the tokens enter the battlefield with half that many +1/+1 counters on it, rounded down, right? So, it's always going to come back, and the token copy of this will still have that ability, right? So as long as you can keep powering it up with more tokens, it's going to keep replacing itself, which is really, really cool. We have, of course, the Oran-Rief Ooze as well as a 2/2. When it enters play, put a +1/+1 counter on something. When it attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature that you control with a +1/+1 counter on it, which is crazy. Again, the jellies. The oozes will have equal power and toughness for the Symmetry Master. The Constructor, if things have +1/+1 counters on it, they're going to gain Menace, so that's great. It's going to be a 2/2 with those counters. We have Removal with Power Word Kill, which is quite nice. Inscription of Abundance can put counters on something. It can be a fight effect. We can gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures we control. We can use all of them if we kick it, which is really nice. Dragonsguard Elite, a 2/2 with Magecraft, benefiting with +1/+1 counters whenever we cast on top of it, which is great with an instant or sorcery. For 6, we can double the number of counters on it, which is cool as well. And remember that we do have Trample through the Symmetry, so if we can double those counters, that's going to be really, really good. Lotus Cobra for the ramp to get us into the big baddies. Werewolf Pack Leader, you know, it's a thick piece of meat. You can buff it for 4, giving it Trample, which is great. And of course, it's got that draw engine attached to it, which is really nice as well. Feign Death, if anything's dying, we're bringing it back with a +1/+1 counter on it. That's really, really good news for us. We have a +1/+1 counter and the fight effect through Struggle. We have Removal through the Cube, which is nice as a 4/3. Removal through Baleful Mastery as well. The Ravager, you know, it enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. When it dies, if you had +1/+1 counters on it, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And then when another creature dies, put a counter on it, and then when it dies, create an XX equal to the number of counters that were on it, which is insane. Removal through the Binding is here as well, and that's going to be the whole deck, right? So I know going through things kind of sporadic. Your overall strategy and synergy is, you know, just go wide with creatures and smash your opponent in the choppers, right? You can focus on the +1/+1 counter creatures, because then they're going to gain Menace, then they're going to gain, you know, all those goodies, right? They'll probably have Trample as well. Not that they'll gain it through the counters. They should already have it, but good times ahead, and you have spot removal if anything's in your way, of course. Recursion through the graveyard, replaying those creatures, you know, through Feign Death, through the Skeleton's really good as well, right? So like a Feign Death on your Skyclave Ravager is absolutely insane, because you're going to get the Ravager back, and you're going to get that XX token that it creates as well, which is pretty crazy as well. So that's the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck tech version or portion of the video, I should say. Make sure to support the channel. Thumbs up, subscribe to partake in the contest, the giveaways. Get into the community Discord, you know, introduce yourself once you're there, become a Patreon to ensure that we have more quality content like this in the future. And again, we've been going through all of the starter decks. Check out the playlist, and you know, that's going to be a good time for you if you're new to the game, and I hope these decks serve you well. Let's jump into the gameplay footage, and then we'll come back to wrap up with our final thoughts. Okay, the land looks really nice here, so we get to keep 7, and we even have a turn 2 skeleton and gobos, which could be interesting. The recursion of the skeletons might be nice. The replayability of the jelly could be nice as well, but they are going whiz-eyed in a hurry. Skeleton out. You know, we're taking out a charger, I guess. We can kill their lord. I mean, the longer we wait on the jelly, the better, I guess. Let's just play another creature. It's always going to be nice, especially since we already have our 4 land. And we'll just block something again. Like, I don't really care too much about anything other than getting rid of these goblins. That's all I care about. They get good mana conversion, right? That's 1 mana to my 3. But I'm okay with it. Raging Goblin has haste. Interesting. So Moss Pit goes out again, and we're holding up our power word kill. We're defending whatever they do here. We can snag their land. We can snag this goblin as well. We kill the Raging Goblin. And we fry the Tin Street. Not taking any damage. Still at 16. The Gelatinous Cube takes out the Battlecry Goblin, and this is feeling good. Land in play. Can they remove the cube and take their Goblin back with that single card? Oh, they can! I didn't think so, but they do get it. So they could hit us for 3. You dirty dog. Our best bet is probably the Jelly. Oh, up to 4, double pump, down to 12. Jelly for 4, total of 5. Skeleton back on top, better than a land. That is nice. They do pump up. We're going to block the Bugbear. And of course we get to create that other Jelly. It's 2/2, half the amount, right? Let's go Master Symmetrist. No attacks, we're defending. It's more expensive, so next turn we can Moss Pit and struggle. They get a land, we're okay, right? This is totally fine. We could even just kick it. And that's going to be maybe a better use of our mana right now. Of course, that 5/5 will have trample. No attacks. We're playing defensively until we know we can take it. It's alright if they concede, right? There's no need to try to inch your way forward when you're stronger, just protecting yourself, growing your, you know, defensive position. Let's see them top deck 2 more of those, I guess, right? Let's toss it over there. So now everything has counters, which is fun. And again, we can't take the damage that thing's going to provide. But we can get a decent hit in, right? Let's hit for 7. We need the defender. Potentially, we may have needed 2 defenders if they get a 1-drop with haste. This costs 4 or 5 total, so yeah. It's just the land. That's fine. Let's kick another skeleton. And this is so good late game, right? Just sending in these 5/5s. Let's just hit for 5. You know, taking them down to 3 isn't giving us lethal, so just be defensive. It's hard. I waver between the two. It's like, oh, I could get away with it, but you know, it doesn't get me anywhere, so I should be defensive. They top deck a lot of lands, which isn't great, but, you know, we get to execute the deck, which is good. Land looks slow, but good. We have the skeleton. We have the Cobra, which is pretty cool. Ooh, life gain, life gain, life gain, life gain. I don't think we can be too slow. Cobra goes. Next turn we have 4 mana. Straight to the Symmetrist. This Moon Dancer is going to get way too strong for us. We have a Baleful Mastery. Yikes. Plus they have the life gain. This is a great deck. I bet you can't beat this deck. This might be our only chance to take it, but we lose our Cobra. Really sad, but if you do not take that Moon Dancer out, you're probably going to lose. Hallowed Priest, Celestial Unicorn. These are things we need to avoid. Let's get the 3-drop in. These skeletons are easy to double drop. The Cleric class is ultra annoying. We take out the 1. I mean, that gives them something to bring back. Let's take out the Cleric class. I think it's worth it. Right? Them bringing back, you know, their Moon Dancer is pretty bad. How are they dropping 3 of these priests? That's really, really good luck. And now an Innkeeper. Uh-oh. Whoa. If you're interested in this deck, I did upgrade it as well, personally. It's the last video in this series, which is pretty cool. Part 2. This, of course, is part 3. I think, well, maybe we kick the skeletons. Right? Maybe we kick those skeletons. As long as there's no Righteous Valkyrie, right? Not another Moon Dancer. They have 3 mana available. And they revitalize. They gain 3 life. They put a +1/+1 counter on their creature. No attacks. Unless they have a Blizzard Brawl. Are you freaking kidding me, Randy? Just a God Hand over there. We're down to 4, and I think that's going to be game. We'll go 3 creatures deep here. It's our best bet. I want to kick the skeletons, but it's just not working out right now because they're pretty wide, right? And we're so low on life that they could just kind of go around, which is really bad. Oh, but this is just gonna straight up beat us. Priest back in play for another draw. And yeah, putting those counters on their creatures is not good either. Gaining 3 life, once from the class, once from the Innkeeper, once from the Priest. Holy Toledos. We lose 2 creatures. One of the skeletons survives. We can, of course, put the skeletons on the top of our library with the class, but I don't think that's worth it. Oh no, what am I thinking? That killed both skeletons. Passing our turn. We do have the power word kill on the cleric. Maybe. Nice. That's the best card in their deck. And that is lethal. They outmaster us. And they're getting more life. It's such a good deck, you guys. That Lifeline deck is insane. Going first with Ramp and two of our big boys in hand. Let's see if we can get there. Just nothing but land off the top. That would be ideal. Two forests for both of them. We're at 3. Next turn is 4. Land off the top, of course. Ranger's class is good. Brutal. Cobra out in case we pull our next land. And that'll put us to 5. A Hagra Constrictor. Me too! Well, this actually kind of helps. Not in the right way, but... I mean, we have Struggle, which isn't the worst. Definitely not good. 4 mana out. We just need that 5th. And the 5th will also be our 6th as long as Cobra remains in play. They foretell a struggle as well, I assume. Class goes up. We get hit for 3. They could both attack. I mean, that's a thing. I don't think striking in will get us anywhere. I think we may as well just play into it. And hit for what little we can. So, the Cobra dies, I'm pretty sure. Symmetrist. Now they have a black source, not a green source, so we're fine from the removal, I think. Hit for 4. No blocks, down to 13. Can we get a land off the top? Like, where is our 3rd land? Honestly. Not there, HGG. Don't be dense. Oh, no, it's... They could have that Feign Death. That sucks. Let's try to keep pace, and maybe, you know, this Vorinclex is going to push us over the edge. I wish I had 6 land. 5 coming down on us. It's the kicked skeleton. And then here's the fight effect on the Cobra. Shoot. We're bricking. I wish we weren't bricking. We're positioned to kind of rip and tear here, but we're not anymore. Like, this is really, really bad. Are you kidding me? Down to 8. As long as they don't get trampled, we can chump block 6 of the damage. If they remove us, we're dead. I guess we'd be chump blocking 7. And they'd hit us for 6. Free land. If they don't have it, they can't take it. They do. Good game. Forcing them to have it, that was honestly their last card, right? What are the chances that they actually had it? Considering their luck compared to ours, pretty good, but you got to see a mirror match, right? It's the same deck smacking itself in the head, which is pretty cool, but wah, 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 wah. Going first with nice land, a good looking hand, more land in our opening hand than we seen all last game, which is great. Hey Tuesdays. What's going on, Mr. Bean? Oh, you're just chilling or what? Let's try to flex. I know we can't protect it, but I don't think they can. Oh, yeah, they can. But they don't. Let's keep applying as much pressure as we can. Hit for 3. I guess we should have maybe put that counter on the ooze. Simba, please don't turn off my computer. Okay, we're good. We're good. Land out. Emergent Sequence out. Push up the Dragonsguard. Pushing up the Elite even further. Hit for 7, down to 10. Not too shabby. It's crazy what you can do with a couple lands in play. Okay, this is perfect. We hit for so much damage here, right? Everything is counters. The ooze, so that's what would this be? 7, 11, 13, 14 damage with the attack, which is really nice. Going first. Ooh, I mean, we need that third land. At least we have both colors. I should be grateful for that. We could put a baby jelly in play. I don't think that's good, though. Let's just foretell struggle. Third land off the top, please. Thank you so much. Very kind of you, my friend. Lots of red / Grazul. Let's play all of our mana, you know, utilize it effectively. I want to play that pack leader, but oh, we might need to wait a little bit. Pull out some removal. This works very nicely. Zorn has been dealt with. I feel like a god. Hit for 2. Double treasures is insane. Okay, 4 mana. Can we survive a wipe? What are they foretelling? Poison the cup? Let's draw a card if we can. We do. Feign Death. Oh my gosh, that's great news for us here. We keep our Feign Death out. The Jelly is a play as a 2/2. Pass our turn. It could be dual cast that's foretold as well. Not just poison the cup. Okay. I mean, we can take it if we get another black source. If not, we'll have to fight it. It's only a single treasure, but double mana, which is a problem. They are tapped. That's our 5th. What? We get the draw. That's a lot of damage. 6, 7, 8. We could go to 10. And we could go to... No, this costs 4, doesn't it? I don't think we kick it, do we? Eight, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we're so close. We'll just take them down to 4, that's fine. And this way we're holding up some instant speed interaction, right? But we don't want to just fight it. Or do we? Let's see. Maybe we just kill Zorn. They do go for it. I mean, if there's a field wipe, we can bring something back. We're down to 12. We have Menace. What are they dual striking? Dual striking and dual strike. Classy. What in the world are they dual striking us with? Is it a damage-based spell? Unexpected Windfall. That's going to be really good. They're making so many treasures here. Oh, and they probably crackle with fire because that's 14, 20 available mana. If they have it in hand, they win. 21 available mana. We should have slayed. We should have slayed them. I'm just getting rid of Gold Gun, so there's not double mana here. They could have tapped them all for double mana before we killed it. 12, 13, which saves us from Crackling Fire. I think. Oh, they just dump another into play, and that doubles the rest of their treasure. So they're back to 16 mana, which we still survive, unless they can, you know, do more of the expected windfalls here. They do get it. They do get it. Dirty, dirty, dirty. So now they're back up to 18. They still don't have it. Wow. That's all 3 expected windfalls. The dual casts. Are they just gonna fling this at us? They're just going wide. Wow. We just take that dragon. Yeah? Yeah, you just have to prioritize that dragon over everything. We have Menace, we get to draw a card. Unfortunately, it's not something instant speed. They do have to block one of these as well. So we're gonna kill Zorn. Right? Do they create more treasures? Or do they kill this jelly? They go in with the treasures. Down to 2, we're at 18. Deadly Dispute, which is crazy with this artist. Really, really cool stuff here. I do not expect to make it out of this alive. These the spoils, you know, making more of them. They're up to 12 now. This thing's a 14-14. They might just fling that artist at us at a certain point. Like, it's getting really close. Teach by example for a double spell. Beautiful. $13 available mana. There's the double fling. They fling themselves instead. Oh, like a true champion. You know what I mean? Absolutely like a true champion. That's pretty crazy. We should have dealt with that Zorn maybe immediately. I didn't expect it to pop off so much. But I guess at the end of the day, everything they did was really at instant speed, so... Cool deck, bro. You gone done got us. Alright, let's see if we can make the most out of this. Land is good, no creatures. We have removal. Creature on 4 if we find a second forest. We do get to 4. What you got over there, Willis? Oh, yeah, baby. Power World. Not Power Word. We get that forest, which is nice. Three mana. Pretty groovy. The Mammoth is really nice as well. I'm gonna kill it again, and then we can protect the Symmetrist with Feign Death. Okay, the haste is annoying. We can go ahead and kill the Mammoth now since they're tapped out. Down to 17. So much land. Okay, so you know, this is nice. We have a nice defensive play, and we can come back as a 5/5. I imagine they have fight effects. Okay. Get buff, bro, right? Landfall on the dog. We probably just block the dog. For now. The dog survives, which is frustrating for me. This is much less frustrating. Do you think they can kill it? It doesn't matter, we can protect it with Feign Death. And let's start lacing in the heat. Hit for 5. Next turn we swing for 9, and then lethal the turn after that. This does have haste. Ooh, that doesn't. Do they have lands on top? Saving it for next turn. Let's swing in. Down to 8. End our turn. I don't think they're dealing 13 damage here. It's gonna be like 3, 6, 9. Plus whatever that card is. And actually not even, just 7. That doesn't have haste, so we're good. We're good, right? Beautiful. I guess they do have blockers now, though, right? Let's kick the Skelly. Just swing in for the 5. I don't want to force the block. Doesn't have trample. I'd rather defend with it, bring it back, and take one of their things. That's probably what we should have done last turn as well. And that's going to be game because they don't get their landfall. And even with it, I think we were still fine. Alright, so is the deck the best starter deck? Maybe not. Does it pack a punch? Absolutely. You know, just having Froghemoth and Vorinclex in here with a little bit of ramp through Emergent Sequence is pretty good. The trample through the Symmetrist is very good as well. Maybe we bump that up to 4 as well. However, you know, I do think that it's performing fairly well, right? So if you wanted to upgrade this deck, right, any of the rares that are in here now, I think could be increased. The Ranger's class, the Pack Leader, the Cobra, the Inscription, the Dragonsguard Elite, the Jelly, like any of the Oozes. You know, there's so many good cards in here that you could increase if you had extras. This is going to depend on your individual collection though, right? So hopefully throughout this video, we were able to demonstrate some of the deck's strengths, some of the deck's weaknesses, and then you can best take advantage and mitigate those respectfully through your own adjustments of the deck. This is just one part of many through the series of upgrading these pre-constructed decks. Be sure to check out that playlist if you're not already on it. Like each individual video, subscribe to the channel, become a Patreon to support the channel so we've got more great content like this in the future. And most importantly, have yourselves a magical day. We'll see you soon on the other side.